The Warriors just crossed from "we'll figure it out" to "we have to decide." Contract talks with Jonathan Kuminga are stuck on one word. Rival front offices are sniffing around, and the deadline math got real. If Golden State wants to maximize Steph's window without wrecking the cap, the next moves start now, not in February. This isn't a drill. Dub Nation, there's leverage on the table, and it won't sit there forever. Here's what you'll get in the next few minutes. No fluff, no fairy tales. I'll break down the exact pressure points in Kuminga's situation, why the calendar is as important as the money, how the league values him today versus at the deadline, and what hot commodity actually means when phones light up in late January. We'll map the options the front office is weighing, what it does to the rotation, and what it says about the franchise's identity. I'll tell you what's real, what's speculation, and what I'd do if I were in the chair. Then it's your turn in the comment stop. Before we go full speed, quick CTA, this is Warriors News Fan Report. If you're here for straight talk that respects your hoop IQ, we believe roots. 73-9 scars, Game 6 Clay goosebumps, subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a like. You keep this show honest and loud. All right, introduction. 2 clocks are ticking in San Francisco. Clock 1. Stephen Curry's prime tail still nuclear. Every season with 30 playing at this level is a gift and a responsibility. Clock 2. The new CBA, which punishes mistakes with second apron handcuffs, no midseason patchwork, fewer trade tools, and zero margin for romantic spending. The Warriors' job is to honor Clock 1 without being buried by Clock 2. Jonathan Kuminga, 22 years old, an explosive 6 feet 8 inches wing forward who defends up, runs the lane like a track athlete, and has leveled up. His rim pressure sits right between those clocks. He's either the bridge that lets Golden State stay dangerous while retooling, or the chip that brings back pieces Steph needs right now. Here's the real news. Negotiations between the Warriors and Kuminga's camp are hung on control of the final season in a 3-year framework. Team option versus player option. One word, 2 very different futures. While both sides have kept lines open, that sticking point hasn't moved, and that stalemate is why multiple teams have him circled as a top deadline target. No, there is no official trade. Yes, it's live. Fact, a contract standoff before RFA amplifies calls. Speculation. Who's offering what? Reality. Golden State is stress-testing scenarios where Kuminga is either extended and featured or headlining a blockbuster package before. February 5th. That's where we are. Let's unpack the leverage. Why does a single option year matter? Because options decide who holds the steering wheel a year from now. A team option gives the Warriors flexibility to keep or move the deal later without overexposing risk. A player option gives JK agency. He can opt out into free agency if he outperforms the number, or opt in if he doesn't. Neither side is wrong. Both are rational. But the league doesn't pause while you haggle. The more days pass without clarity, the louder the market gets. Now, how the league sees him. Front offices price 3 things at the deadline: age, role scalability, and contract control. Kuminga checks the first 2 in bold. He's 22 with tools that translate everywhere. Point of attack help on big wings, switchable in space, live dribble straight line burst, and a body that survives playoff collisions. Role scalability? Hi, he can be your 3.5 next to a usage star or your attack forward in an up-tempo system. Contract control is the variable RFA, gives the acquiring team matching power in July, which is why he'll command real assets, even if an extension isn't signed. That combination age plus tools plus RFA leverage is why hot commodity isn't hype here. It's how the market works. Let's talk basketball before the spreadsheets. What is JK right now on a winning Warriors team? He's the pace shifter. When defenses top-lock Steph in those split actions, Kuminga is the vertical pressure that punishes the overplay. Give him early touch on the second side slot cut, empty corner drive, or short roll catch, and he turns the rim into a layup line or draws foul pressure. On defense, he's your William Primary versus bigger wings, think 6 feet 6 and 9, and he can switch a guard for late clock survival. He's at his best with clear, direct jobs. Pressure this action, finish that play, win this matchup. Where it's still developing, 0.5 decision-making catch, decide in half a second, screening with purpose to free 30, and the timing inside Kerr's read-react flow, so possessions don't stall. None of that is unusual at 22. The unusual part is doing your finishing school next to a win now core. Now, the rotation ripple if you keep and commit. You're saying 28 to 32 minutes, consistent roll, second side touches, downhill emphasis, and top matchup defensive assignments. You accept the learning curve. 2 rush drives a night, a missed tag, a late skip read, because the payoff in March, April is the fresh legs and size you desperately needed in 2023. Also accept that his development reshapes, touches for veterans, and narrows the margin for other young wings. It's a choice. It can work. The 2022 title turned when Wiggins embraced glass crashing and on-ball defense. Kuminga can be a different version of that impact, more rim pressure, less spot dash up. And if you trade, 2 frameworks exist. One is the star swing, JK plus veteran salary and draft capital for a high-level two-way wing or big who fits the playoff template. That's painful. You don't get a star back with a light bill. The other is a depth bundle, a starting caliber shooter with size, a rotation big who protects the rim without excessive fouling, and a pick swap in a year that matters. That second path doesn't sell jerseys, but it has a history of winning in June when combined with a healthy Steph and a core. Locked in DRAYMOND.cap mechanics without the headache. Extension sign now? Trading rules tighten. No extension? You can keep maximum flexibility through the deadline, but you risk July offer sheet games where another team sets the number and the role in public. Our FA sounds like power. It becomes messy if the player wants a bigger role than you can promise. The new CBA second apron also punishes the wrong long-term bet tax aprons, balk the little fixes you're used to. That's why Golden State is running parallel paths. Keep building his value and keep the phone charged. Let's address the narratives that always pop up and either calm or spook. A fan base. He's unhappy. Frustration happens when minutes swing and headlines pile up. That doesn't mean he can't be part of a winning plan. It means clarity is non-negotiable. Set the role, live with the growth, and hold the standard. Kerr doesn't trust him. In playoff basketball, trust is earned from October through March. A clear runway and accountability can change the relationship dynamic in a month. We've seen it. You can't trade a 22-year-old with that ceiling. Sometimes, you must if the incoming fit is championship clean and extends Steph's range. The rule isn't never trade potential. The rule is only trade potential for certainty that plays in May. Just wait until the offseason. Careful value peaks when buyers are desperate. February is when contenders pay premiums because coaches are banging tables and owners want to run. Now let's talk real court fit if he stays. Offense. Prioritize second side creation. Start actions away from him, then hit him on the move so he's not dribbling into set walls. Use him as the screener for Steph and Jimmy if lineups trend that way in Spain and double drag. JK sprinting the rim forces the low man to tag, freeing a corner 3. Build and design cuts off split actions, catch and go, not catch and hold. Defense. Give him the first assignment on the opponent's primary wing and let Draymond play free, safety JK's chest takes the bump. Dre reads the second action. That protects foul trouble and gives you transition fuel. If he goes, what changes? The Warriors need 3 things back. Minimum. Shooting at size, 38% plus corner threat who doesn't get hunted. A playable big for non-Dre minutes. Verticality, drop competence, quick to the ball. And a future chip, pick swap, so you're not boxing 2 summers from now. You do not move him for redundant guards or fragile names. You also avoid cap garbage that locks the second apron and strangles moves in 2026. Non-negotiable rule. Every inbound piece must survive a 7-game series against Denver, OKC, and Minnesota Styles. Let's game out the timelines. Path A, extend in season. You find middle ground on the option, maybe with performance triggers. Immediate effect. Calmer locker room, predictable rotation, and clearer development. Risk. Later tradability tightens. You're committed to making the fit work on a championship schedule. Path B, showcase to February. You feature him responsibly. Minutes, touches, and defensive pride all up. 2 outcomes. 1, he pops and you shelve trade talks. 2, his value spikes and you get offers you can't get in June. Risk. If role shrinks post-deadline, July gets awkward. Path C, move early. You lock a package before the feeding frenzy and set your playoff identity now. Benefit, more acclimation time for inbound players, more clarity for Kerr's rotations. Risk, you sell before a January heater that could have raised the price. Where's Steph in all this? Center stage, obviously, but not as a shadow. Jim Moore as the gravity around which you shape the final forms. Curry doesn't need another 28 usage star. He needs a rotation that punishes every coverage decision in a series. That means reliable size, dependable shooting, and defenders who don't crack on the road. Kuminga can be part of that, or he can be your pathway to it. Both answers can be right. The only wrong answer is letting the clock run out, because the conversation is uncomfortable. Let's hit a couple of on-court realities. The numbers back up every spring. Free throws win playoff middle quarters. JK's rim pressure increases whistle rate. If he stays, scheme for 2 must-get fouls on bench bigs every second quarter. That's not a highlight. That's how you buy Steph rest. Glass is a tax you either pay or collect. When JK plus another athlete hit the weak side, you steal 4 points a game. 4 points swing a road game 5. Turnovers are title killers. If JK earns 30 minutes, the turnover budget must be guarded fewer live ball giveaways, more 2-foot finishes, cleaner outlets. That's film room work, not magic. Now, talk risk like adults. Keep him and miss the option compromise? You risk a July offer sheet that sets numbers and role in someone else's voice. Trade him, and he booms elsewhere. You wear it, just like you wore Wiggins' resurrection the first time, except in reverse. Either path hurts if you guess. The job is to decide, not guess. My view, here's the personal opinion you asked for. If I'm in the chair, I'd push for the compromise. 3 years with a player safeguard that preserves tradability, escalators, partial guarantees, and I hand him a real unambiguous role now. 28 to 32 minutes, second side initiations baked into the script, top wing defensive assignment nightly. I write that plan into January. If by mid-January the film shows fit friction, we can't solve stalled actions, defensive focus lapses, or cap consequences that squeeze the rest of the roster, I pivot aggressively. And if I pivot, I'm targeting size plus shooting plus pick in one deal, not 3 small ones. No panic tax, no staple premium picks, just to end a headline cycle. Clarity over noise. Your turn. Be specific in the comments. Would you flip the final year option to a player option to get this done today? What's your walkaway price in a trade one unprotected first coming back? Or a protected plus a playoff big and a 40% shooter? If he stays, what's the nightly role you'd script touch count? Actions, matchups? If he goes, name the profile, not just the name, that makes this worth it in May. We've lived every version of this franchise, from the roar at Oracle to the show at Chase. From We Believe to 73 to 9 to 2022's parade. The standard never changed. Play a style that looks like Warriors basketball and make decisions that hold up in June. Jonathan, Kuminga can be a pillar of that, or he can be the path back to it. Let's not pretend the non-decision is neutral. It's a decision to drift. Pick a lane. Own it. And keep the main thing the main thing. Another banner in the building. While 30 is still 30. Drop your thoughts below. I'll pin the cap smart. Rotation smart takes so everyone can chew on them. Subscribe if you haven't, bell on, and Hit Like It This help you sort through the noise. We'll track every development, but the headline for tonight is simple. The Warriors-Kuminga decision isn't someday. It's on the clock.